Top 10 monsters in the Witcher series ranked, weakest to strongest. It's no secret that the fans of The Witcher obviously love Geralt, but we'd all agree on this, as well as half the fun still lies in the amazing monsters and creatures he faces. We all know that The Witcher games and the Witcher Netflix series share plenty of monsters, but how tough are the monsters in the show? Are they as tough as the ones in the games? Or are there any other new monsters that appear in the series but don't really exist in the games? Well, you need to watch this video to find that out. Now, as good as Geralt is at being a Witcher, there are definitely some beasts that gave him a harder time than others. There was a surprising amount of monsters shown off in Season 1, and today we're going to find out which of these creatures is the strongest of them all. Number 10. Ghouls. Ghouls are very much like classic zombies. They lurk in cemeteries and battlefields, feasting on fresh corpses. On their own, they're weak enough, but the true danger of a ghoul encounter is in their swarming numbers. And if you get bitten, then you're pretty much instantly dead. One bite was enough to put Geralt in a hallucinatory coma that very nearly kills him. So even though they look a bit goofy and weak, they're no joke. That being said, Geralt does manage to kill the entire pack of ghouls on his own before passing out from the bite. So they're not exactly an insurmountable foe. Number 9. Doppler. The Doppler is a special kind of monster. It has the ability to take the form of any human being, making themselves almost indistinguishable from the real thing. Even worse, they also gain the memories and personalities of anyone they transform into, which could make them one of the most dangerous creatures of all. Thankfully, Dopplers aren't incredibly strong or otherwise special in terms of their deadliness. Plus, most Dopplers are quite gentle and don't mean any harm. Unfortunately, the Doppler in this series is a borderline serial killer and doesn't have any qualms about murdering someone and stealing their identity. While they might not be able to poison, burn, or eviscerate you, their power to steal people's lives is scarier than anything else. Number 8. Krallach. Krallach is a fast, deadly insect with blade-like arms used by an assassin in the 4th episode of the Netflix series to slaughter a troop of armed guards and nearly kill Yennefer. A Krallach is also known as a roach hound, meaning it's essentially a dog-sized cockroach, and it's not especially strong as it's easily dispatched by Yen. But now we have the idea of St. Bernard-sized cockroaches in our heads, and we need to curl up in a ball and cry for a bit. Number 7. Kikimora. If it was in any other franchise, fighting a Kikimora would probably be a true test of a hero's mettle. However, for Geralt, it's just another Tuesday. Not that they're to be taken lightly, they are pretty scary with their insectoid appearance, multiple legs, and human-like face. However, they're the first example of Geralt's monster-fighting prowess that we get in the Netflix series. If they were truly that dangerous, they wouldn't be the first monster we see get slaughtered. Number 6. Basilisk. Okay, now we agree that this monster didn't make an appearance in the series, but I guess you do remember Basilisk was first mentioned in episode 6 of The Witcher. Geralt actually returns from defeating one, only to be drawn into another adventure by a kindly old adventurer. So what kind of ordeal did Geralt just return from? Unlike folklore in our world and the world of The Witcher would suggest, the basilisks that Geralt might come across cannot turn anyone into stone with their gaze. These flying reptilian monsters attack with venom, claws, and wings. Number 5. Selkiemore. Okay, let me first clarify that we don't actually get to see the Selkiemore, just its guts splattered all over Geralt, but it exists in the series. Now, Selkiemore is supposed to be a gigantic sea creature with razor-sharp teeth that's so massive that it can swallow ships whole. It rises up from beneath a frozen lake and swallows Geralt in one gulp. That sounds like a particularly deadly beast, except Geralt soon nonchalantly appears in the tavern covered in Selkiemore guts, looking no worse for wear. Since we don't have any reference on this monster from the games or books, we have to go strictly from the TV series. And if that's the case, it seems like it was pretty easy to take care of. However, it's likely that something that big could be a nuisance to any non-Witchers out in the open water. Number 4. Striga. Strigas are cursed women who become feral predators armed with brute strength, incredible speed, and sharp teeth and claws. They hunt during a full moon and pretty much hate any living creature that they aren't currently eating. Oddly enough, the Striga seems to be the monster that almost gets the best of Geralt. Geralt manages to break the Striga's curse, but only after a long, knockdown, drag-out fight that he barely survives. But when you truly think about it, isn't man the greatest monster of them all? Well, think twice, because Strigas are much worse. Number 3. Manticore. Manticores don't really make any physical appearance in the series, but are mentioned in the 4th episode of The Witcher, as two nobles argue about who truly slew one of the mythical beasts. Geralt has clearly had experience with manticores, since he states plainly that both men are lying. They're huge flying beasts that resemble lions with bat wings and scorpion tails, and are considered some of the deadliest monsters in the world, with Geralt surviving and encountering one in his youth. Number 2. Dragon. Dragons are some of the rarest sentient creatures in the Witcher series, and as such, Witchers like Geralt rarely choose to fight them, seeing them as a species worth protecting. This is also because dragons tend to shy away from humans, rarely attacking them without provocation. Even so, if met in combat, dragons are some of the toughest enemies to fight. They have many immunities, no weaknesses, and the powers of flight and deadly breath. Basically, as long as you don't poke the dragon, you shouldn't get burned to a crisp. Dragons can also take on the form of a human, much like a Doppler. Number 1. Djinn. Genies are not always friendly, and the Witcher's Djinn is unlike any other you might have come across. While the allure of getting 3 magical wishes is understandable, it might be better to leave the Witcher's version of genies alone. These wind elemental spirits can be sealed away within a bottle or container with a magic seal, which is a nice solution for dealing with them. But once they escape whatever prison they've been confined to, they're usually not in a good mood. The Djinn in the show magically poisons Jaskier, nearly takes over Yennefer's body, and tears apart the 2nd floor of a mansion. That's just a small portion of their destructive abilities. If we're measuring strength through sheer destructive force, it's likely that the Djinn is the strongest monster we've seen yet. Well, that was all for today, folks. Make sure you subscribe to our channel for more videos like these. Also, hit the bell icon if you don't want to miss any new videos that we upload. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay safe.